Sacramento. Chet Holmgren drives. Oh, puts it up and in.
Unicorns in the NBA are some of the most fascinating creatures because these guys are built to be bigger and taller than most players, but are just as skilled as any other guy in the league. Chet Holmgren is one of those 7-footers who fit this description, and many people thought he was going to be a taller version of Kevin Durant with a bit of Anthony Davis in his game. Despite the initial projections of his talents, his career didn't start out well. Still, in just a few years in the NBA, he won the ultimate vindication for an NBA player as we get to see Holmgren's fall and rise in the league. Just a few years back, Chet Holmgren found himself becoming one of the most intriguing young players in the world. Videos of his high school games made rounds all over the internet, with the 7-footer shooting jumpers, dribbling from the perimeter, and doing things no young man his height should be doing. That was when people saw a player who had the opportunity to become the second coming of Kevin Durant, or a combination of KD and Kevin Garnett, because Holmgren was also a legitimate shot-blocking big man. So, with his talents, he finished high school as the top prospect in the entire country. Then, for college, he went to Gonzaga. In just his freshman season with Gonzaga, Holmgren was already the team's best player. He was playing with veterans like Drew Timme, Julian Strawther, and Andrew Nebbert, but he was already making the most impact on both ends of the floor, proving he was as good as advertised.
They like that 1-2-2-3 quarter court, but they came with it right away. Holmgren with the flush.
Chet Holmgren finished his freshman year averaging 14.1 points, 9.9 rebounds, and 3.7 blocks while shooting over 60% from the field and nearly 40% from the three-point line. He was a rising offensive gem and a legitimate beast on defense. And those qualities were the reasons why NBA teams were high on him, believing he could become a star in the league someday. True enough, he was one of the top prospects in the 2022 NBA draft. He had a legitimate case as the first overall pick, but the Orlando Magic selected Paolo Banchero, an equally talented but more athletic young star instead. But it didn't matter because Holmgren fell to the Oklahoma City Thunder as the second pick. It turned out that while he could have been Orlando's best player, he was a better fit for a Thunder team that already had the right young pieces, but not the right big man. So, while there were people who didn't think he was going to be the Rookie of the Year for the 2022-23 season because of the Thunder's solid lineup of scorers, everyone thought he was going to be a great fit on that team. But the problem was that a foot injury hindered him early in his career. Right before the 2022-23 season started, he suffered a season-ending foot ruptured tendon that kept him out for an entire season. So, what would have been a breakout year for the young big man turned out to be an entire season of recovering while watching the Thunder miss the 2023 playoffs. Then, while he was recovering, another unicorn made headlines all over the world. The French 7'4" Victor Wembanyama was now the biggest name among 7-footers because he's not only taller, but just as skilled as Holmgren.
Victor rolling to the bucket. Oh, authority!
Wemby was chosen as the first overall pick of the 2023 draft, becoming the favorite to win the Rookie of the Year. Interestingly, the 2023-24 campaign was also Holmgren's return season, making the matchup between the two young 7-footers intriguing for a lot of fans all over the world. Holmgren finally made his NBA debut, showing why people were so high on him. Despite the fact that he was playing with legitimate scorers like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams, Holmgren proved to be a good third option. He learned how to play off his star teammates, spotting out on the three-point line and cutting to the basket when open. And in the rare instances he had a chance to handle the ball, he showcased his ability to create shots off the dribble and get to the basket at will. Basically, the 2024 Rookie of the Year award was a two-man race between him and Wembanyama. Then again, Chet was on a better team as the Thunder finished the regular season as the top team in the entire Western Conference. Along the way, Holmgren averaged 16.5 points, 7.9 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks. However, he was overshadowed by Wembanyama's greatness as a rookie. Wemby averaged 21.4 points, 10.4 rebounds, 3.9 assists, and 3.6 blocks to win the Rookie of the Year award in a landslide. Holmgren was a far second, making him look like an afterthought when compared to Wemby's combination of size and skill. And even if he did indeed make it to the playoffs as a rookie, the Thunder lost in the second round of the 2024 playoffs. Despite losing in the Rookie of the Year race, Holmgren was as talented as advertised. He could have averaged better numbers on a worse team, but the fact that he finished second in the Rookie of the Year race and posted solid numbers while playing behind two legitimate star-level players meant that he had a chance to become special. True enough, he was playing incredibly well in just his second season in the NBA. Holmgren started the 2024-25 season on a good note, averaging 23.3 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 blocks in his first 3 games. While no one expected him to average those numbers all season long, he still had a good chance to average somewhere close to 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks that season. In fact, in his first 9 games, he posted 18.2 points, 9.2 rebounds, and 2.9 blocks. Fans and analysts alike thought he had a chance to become an all-star that season, especially with the Oklahoma City Thunder playing incredibly well. But in just his 10th game of the season, he suffered a hip injury that made him miss nearly 3 months. That was when people started wondering if Holmgren would ever be healthy enough for an entire season to showcase his star potential. More importantly, the Thunder were actually winning without him, making some people question whether or not he was important to that team. Upon his return early in February 2024, he wasn't playing at the same level he had before his injury. It was clear that either his injury was bothering him or he simply lost his rhythm. Holmgren was also in and out of the lineup due to various health reasons. So, in the 22 games he played after his injury, he averaged 14.3 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 2 blocks. For the entire season, he averaged 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 2.2 blocks, a slight drop-off from his rookie year.
To SGA, we are under 2 minutes to go, first half. Holmgren drives and slams!
But while Chet was subpar for the Thunder after returning from his injury, everyone knew he had a chance to make up for it in the playoffs, especially when teams were going to be more focused on keeping SGA occupied. True enough, Holmgren was dominant during the first-round series against the Memphis Grizzlies, averaging 18.5 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 2.8 blocks in those 4 games, all while outplaying every big man Memphis had to offer. This included the 7'4" Zach Edey and the all-star power forward Jaren Jackson Jr. Then, in the second round, no one expected Holmgren to actually outplay Nikola Jokic, the greatest player in the world. But even though he lacked the heft and strength to keep up with the 3-time MVP big man, Holmgren held his ground and averaged 14.1 points and 10.9 rebounds the entire 7-game series. He was actually fighting Jokic for a rebounding position despite his slight frame. Of course, in the Western Conference Finals, he was a matchup nightmare for every big man the Minnesota Timberwolves had to offer. Holmgren was a lot taller and longer than Julius Randle and Naz Reid. Meanwhile, he could force Rudy Gobert out to the perimeter to open the paint up. So, while he was not rebounding at the same rate as the second round, his scoring was exceptional in that series, averaging 18 points on 56.7% from the field in 5 games to help the Thunder make it to the NBA Finals. The matchup with the Indiana Pacers in the 2025 Finals, however, was different because the opposing team seemingly always found a way to neutralize him or make it harder for him to do what he did in the first 3 rounds. But while that was true, Holmgren was instrumental in the team's wins in that tough 7-game finals.
Alexander back out. Holmgren fakes, sidestep. The big man can knock down the 3.
In a win in Game 2, he had 15 points in under 28 minutes. Then, in a win in Game 4, he went for 14 points and 15 rebounds to even the series at 2 wins apiece. Meanwhile, in Game 5, he wasn't scoring well, but had 11 rebounds and 3 blocks. Finally, in Game 7, Holmgren finished with 18 points on 6 out of 8 shooting from the field as he set the tone for the Thunder early in that win. The OKC Thunder got through the Indiana Pacers in a brutal and physical 7-game series, as there was no doubt that Holmgren's presence was one of the key reasons the team won. He averaged only 12.3 points and 8.9 rebounds in that series, but his contributions went beyond scoring and rebounding. And throughout the entire playoff run, he averaged 15.2 points and 8.7 rebounds, proving that he was an indispensable part of that championship team. So, from early setbacks because of injuries to winning a championship in only his second full season in the league, Holmgren experienced a lot of ups and downs, eventually leading to the ultimate prize. While he wasn't a Rookie of the Year winner or an All-Star, the one thing he could say was that he won an NBA championship, something not a lot of superstars could say.